Good afternoon. Well, this season has kind of gone by pretty quick for us. We start really early. We had our first practice August 3rd this year. So we actually had a quarter of our season done before the before school even started. So we've been really moving along, plugging along here. Right now we're sitting at 3-6-2. We really need to take that record with a grain of salt because there's a lot of parity in the girls division in the state this year where anybody can beat anybody. We played some really good Sioux Falls teams. We pulled off a 3-1 win against Roosevelt. We tied O'Gorman, who right now is ranked number 2 in the state, 0-0. So we're able to play pretty much everybody pretty tough. To start out the season, we tried a new formation simply because I knew I lost 3 of my 4 defenders last year due to graduation. And so we experimented a little bit with the new formation and realized pretty quickly after a 6-1 result that not in our favor, that probably was not the route to go. It really has been a progression, a transition throughout the season for the ladies. They've really started to come around, and they're really starting to play some of their best soccer of the season. We played a good Lincoln team last night, and we ended up losing 3-2. But we came out. We definitely had our chances to win, or even tie. In stoppage time, which basically regulation time is done last night. We ended up drawing a PK, and we ended up getting that stopped against us. Otherwise, we could have tied it up with no time left. So, it's really been that kind of season where, one shot here, one shot there really could have turned us around. We have 6 seniors this year. All of them are getting some pretty good playing time. Haley Shield started in goal for us this year. Ended up getting a concussion against Harrisburg and has missed the last 4 games. And Amanda Gravehole, who's played a little bit of goal in the past, has really stepped in and really started to control that position. So when Haley came back last night, I kept Amanda back there and moved Haley up to a striker position, something that she can play pretty well. Not a whole lot of conditioning needed up there with the subs that we can get in, so the time that she missed really doesn't hold our team back there. We have 4 injuries, players that are out pretty much for the entire season. So with them, we would have had 39 players, and that is 12 through 7. Next year, we are looking at the potential of not having to dip into the 7th graders, which is obviously something where we want to proceed to. Eventually, I would love 10 seniors, 10 juniors, 10 sophomores, 10 freshmen, and really have just build up a middle school program outside of that. But as we're building the program here, it's just one of those things that we're going to have to do, dip in a little bit. And some of those players are really helping us out on the varsity side. So, overall, the record isn't where we necessarily wanted it to be at this point, but the progression that the team's made and the chemistry that they built throughout the season really shows that we're moving in the right direction at this point. We finish our final game tomorrow at Huron. Huron is 1-10 on the season. Not a team we want to overlook, but it's also a team we want to go and just take care of business and really avoid injuries as we look to playoffs next Tuesday. And as it looks right now, we will probably be going to Aberdeen next Tuesday for the first round of playoffs. Another possibility would be to Sioux Falls, Roosevelt, depending on how a few results end later this week. That's really the gist of the season so far. Any questions on the girls soccer side?
Like Brianna Benjamin, for instance, is she thinking about going out and playing soccer, or any of the other kids? Or
I honestly have not talked to him a whole lot about that at this point.
September.
The recruiting process for soccer is a little bit different. Typically, the recruiting is done during the club seasons because that's when all the college coaches can make it to the games and stuff. So there isn't a whole lot of recruiting that's done during the high school season. And at this point, I think there's a couple 3 girls that, if they wanted to play somewhere, the potential's there. It's just whether they want to take that step.